Alright, what's up everybody? We're at a little different, let's see, so a very different kind of a video today where, yes, I am filming a video in an abandoned hospital, not an abandoned hospital room, an empty hospital room. Unfortunately, my partner had a episode of belly pain 3 days ago, which we finally got investigated, and it turned out to be appendicitis. So, brought him into the ER late last night, and by early this morning, he was in, having his surgery done. Surgery went well, everything is fine, health-wise, procedure-wise, surgery went well, and there was no complications or anything concerning like that. But, I would think this would be like an interesting experience where now that I'm on the flip side of everything, instead of being the physician in the hospital and being the hospitalist and being, the go-to doctor, kind of think to use this as a thought as to what it's like being on the other side. And it is no fun. I don't think that it helped that last night I had to work overnight, so I couldn't just be here to help out. It's really a different experience when it's somebody that you really care about who's in the hospital, and when you are waiting for everything to happen, and you're in the ER waiting for the lab work and waiting for the imaging and the CT and then the ER doc and then the surgeon and everybody. That part you kind of expect, because you expect the ER to be a long drawn out process just by the nature of what it is. But then when you get admitted and you're just waiting in the morning for the people for the surgery team to round, which I was surprised that they did, because in my head, surgeons don't see anyone until they're in the OR and they never see them again, because that's kind of how it works sometimes. But the team here has been very, very nice. So once we saw the surgery team this morning, they explained what was going to happen. We all knew it was a laparoscopic appendectomy. And then probably the most, emotionally intense part was from when the surgery team left and they said, we're going to do surgery within the hour, somebody will be here. And waiting for that person to come was just humbling, we'll say. Because for me, when I'm seeing so many people a day, it's just in and out. Here's the plan for the day, here's what to expect, here's what the lab showed, here's the update, in and out. I don't really give any acknowledgement to waiting, or waiting for the lab tests to come back, or waiting for your imaging, or waiting for your nurse to give you your pain medicine, and what all that is like. And being on this side of it and watching somebody be, I don't want to say critically ill, but very ill, and just watching somebody have no control over anything, it was hard to watch. And then for that specific period of time between when surgery left and when they came to get him, it was just weird. It was weird. You didn't know what to expect. You didn't know when was to come. There's always that fear that surgery is going to get complicated and something's not going to go right. And also during that time we were dealing with pain, nausea, acid reflux, and just general the uncomfortableness of having appendicitis. So, and I couldn't do anything about it because I'm not in charge. And even if I was in charge, I would have done basically what they were doing. So I give them credit for that. But it gave me a new perspective on what people who are in the hospital have to go through. Where I didn't care before. I know I didn't care before, because it didn't matter. Because in my head, here's the medical plan for the day, here's what's going to happen, and we're going to move on. And you don't kind of think about the rest of it. Or when the patient's complaining that the food isn't great, or that they had to wait 15 minutes for their pain medicine, and you're just you just chalk it up to being busy, or you just chalk it up to that's the hospital. Being on the other side of it, you puts it into perspective where, waiting for results, or waiting for medicine, or waiting to know what the hell's going on. You can't discredit that as part of the patient experience, which I understand is why there's the huge move towards accountability and to being transparent for hospitals and those post-discharge surveys that they're doing, which we all hate because they affect a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I guess they do mean well. And so surgery came to get him, and then the waiting happened. You know, they say, the surgery is about an hour long. And then they leave, and it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and nothing. You've heard nothing. You've heard multiple code blues over the loudspeaker, and every time that happens, your heart sinks, thinking that, you know, maybe it's something wrong. Whereas normally it's like, oh, code blue, it's not my problem, nothing to worry about. But when somebody's in surgery and code blue gets called over the loudspeaker, all of a sudden you perk up a little bit. And then you're just the waiting for an update is horrifying. But as soon as it was done, surgery team came back up. They've explained everything that happened. They were very respectful and very thorough and very nice. So that part was great, but this is weird. This is a weird experience to be in as I guess where I'm at in life, you know, because I've seen my grandparents in the hospital when they were both sick. My grandma with COPD and my grandpa with numerous things. My mom was in the hospital. She had neck fusion surgery when I was in high school, but who's emotionally mature in high school? And now for it to get to the point where somebody that I care about a lot is in the hospital with everything going on, I don't know. It was weird. And it gave me like you want to do these like personal reflections, and you want to be like, well, it gave me this brand new outlook on my philosophy on medicine, and it hasn't, but it's definitely because I don't think I've processed or thought about it enough, but it's definitely given me some stuff to think about as to how I want to go about doing this, how I want to go about seeing patients and things like that. It's been really an interesting experience to go through. I don't think I have the right words to say anything about it, but so now we're waiting. He's down in PACU, waiting for him to come back up so we can move forward from there. They've elected to keep him overnight just because, you know, I think that's a great idea. I don't know why people try to do appendectomies and cholecystectomies and discharge people home the same day, because there's always something that goes a little bit not according to plan. So that's where I'm at right now, just waiting. I understand a little bit more now about when people are going to complain to me that they had to wait too long for medicine, or they don't really understand, no one explained anything to them, you know, they've been waiting all day for their doctor and no one said anything. I understand how that can now get to you, and how that can be a big factor in your overall experience in the hospital. So that's a couple of things that I'm going to at least take home with me. I haven't slept in probably... No, that's a lie. I took like a 2-hour nap last night while I was working. But I was been up since 1 o'clock yesterday. It's 1 o'clock today, so I've been up for about 24 hours. I don't know how I'm still going, but I'm not tired. I know there's a lot more that I have to do. I have to go back to the house and do a couple of chores and then come back again, but I'm not going to just leave until we figure out what's going on. And he gets back up to the room, and we make sure that everything is just as it should be. So that's about where we're at right now, and if there's anything really important in the next 24 hours, I will finish this video out, but if not, that's it. That's all I gotta say. It's weird being on this side of medicine and not being on the other side of it, where you're in charge and you have all the information, all the data, and everybody kind of listens to you. So overall, I'm sure I will change the way I do a couple of things. I just don't know what that is yet. And when I figure it out, I'll check in with you guys about it. So, still just waiting, trying to entertain myself by watching Trisha Paytas YouTube videos and Jersey Shore updates. But nothing is just like nothing is taking it, the mindset off of waiting. So, I haven't eaten since 1 o'clock in the morning, because that's technically my lunch hour because I was working overnight. Yeah, that's where we're at. So, I don't know, this probably doesn't make any sense, and maybe I'll re-film this later or re-edit it, but, okay. So yeah, as we just saw, everything's fine. He's back, everything went well. Surgery is doing fine. His pain is well controlled, he's eating. Everything's good, so... That's always a plus sign, but still that waiting, man. I completely understand now why it's a problem for some people. What? So now I'm gonna hop in this baby and go home. feed the dogs, eat, come right back. That's the other thing I don't understand, is that like if someone in your family or a loved one is in the hospital, I don't understand these people who like don't see anybody in their family for like 5 or 6 days at a time if they're in the hospital. Now I get it, you know, you have to have a life and things like that too, but I've never understood when I have some patients who just, I've never, you know, you never see their family when they're there, and you're just, I don't know, it's a weird, because you would think that they would want to be there for their love. My God, it's hot. The problem is the hospital's so cold, but then you walk out and all of a sudden you're reminded that you live in Las Vegas. But, so I don't understand how people just can't always be there for their loved ones in the hospital, but I don't judge it. I don't know anybody's situation. We're gonna drive home, feed the dogs, do the plants, eat some dinner. Well, get some dinner. I'm getting in and out. I'm treating myself for going through all of this with him, and gonna just enjoy the long road to recovery. So everything's great, and we'll go from there. I guess that's my sign-off tag. Okay, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about acute appendicitis, management, how to handle a loved one with acute appendicitis, let me know.